Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Josh Klimos. Happy joining you guys for another edition of NBA Player Prop Parlay right here on the Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your week is going well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA Player Prop Parlay to share with you guys. One that I'm very excited about. I spent over an hour of research this morning on this parlay. I think you're going to like what I have for you. Before we dive in, though, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. All the interaction obviously helps with channel growth and for views, for growth. We are very close to hitting 60,000 subscribers, but we're obviously on the road to 100,000 subscribers. You can help us get there a little bit sooner by hitting that subscribe button down below. Quick little recap of last night. We had a two-leg parlay as a part of our ladder challenge. We did fall short. We hit 1 out of 2 legs. The De'Aaron Fox prop crushed, obliterated that line, finished with like over 40 points when the line was only, I think we had it like 23.5. So a huge hit on that part. The Giannis prop, unfortunately, did not hit. He finished with 23 points. We needed him to score 30. So, a loss last night. It is what it is. Apologies for that. The ladder challenge is over. It's in the past. We'll run it back next month. But like I always say, guys, rain or shine, win or lose, I will always be here to keep making videos for you guys. And so, yeah, we lost last night, but we're back today with a new NBA Player Prop Parlay. 3 legs for tonight's slate. Plus 265 odds. I spent over an hour of research. I found some really, really good legs. I think you're going to like what I have to share with you guys today. All right, guys, first leg of our 3-leg parlay. We are targeting the Mavs Heat game, which kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going with Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat over 17.5 points. All right, guys, go ahead and kick this over to the Outlier screen. If you don't know what Outlier is, they're the best sports betting tool on the market today. We do have a special link in the description below that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. You will not regret it. It truly is. Whether they were a sponsor of the show or not, I would still subscribe to Outlier. They give you a ton of great data, a ton of great insight into each and every player prop. Not just NBA. They have NHL, college basketball, baseball, football, all that good stuff. And beyond just player props, they also give you good insights on straight game data in terms of spreads, totals, money lines, all that good stuff. So, try it out. Link in the description below. 7-day free trial. I guarantee you guys you'll enjoy it. And if not, it's only a 7-day free trial. After 7 days, you end it. But there's no harm in trying it out. So, here we go, guys. First leg of our 3-leg parlay. Heat Mavs game. 7:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Adebayo over 17.5 points. You see here the data is pretty good. 8 of his last 10 games, he has cashed this over. You stretch that data to his last 20 games, still pretty solid. 60% hit rate, 12 of his last 20 games. On the 2023 season as a whole, a 75% hit rate, 38 out of 51 games this season, he has cashed this over. So really strong data for Adebayo here. It is an alternate line at minus 220, so it makes sense why it's at minus 220. This is a line that cashes pretty consistently. And if you look at the head-to-head data, the last time these two teams played, or the last time Adebayo played the Dallas Mavericks back on January 20th of last year, he just cashed this line at 18 points. Now, a couple reasons why I like this matchup. You look at the right side of the screen here. Versus centers overall in the season, the Dallas Mavericks are middle of the road, 15th in the NBA, giving up 18.4 points per game. But if you look in a little closer, you crush that data a little bit lower, you'll find something very interesting when it comes to Dallas's defense versus centers. Over the last 15 games, the Dallas Mavericks have the worst defense in the NBA against centers. They're giving up 30 points per game to opposing centers over the last 15 games. And even if you want to stretch that, or condense that, even lower to the last 7 games, only San Antonio is worse at 31, and that's because they let Şengün score 45 points the other night. They still, over the last 7 games, 30 points per game. Overall in the year, yes, they are middle of the road, but over the last 15 games or so, they have been awful at guarding the center position. So that's reason number 1 why I really love this prop. The second reason is because Tyler Hero is out tonight for Miami. Now, you may be asking yourself, why does Tyler Hero being out have to do with Bam Adebayo? He's a center. It's a different position. It's not like he's going to get more minutes. But really what it comes down to is I think with Tyler Hero being out, they need Adebayo to get more touches, to put up more shots, because Tyler Hero is primarily he's a scorer, right? And so you're losing out on some of your scoring and your shooting when you lose Tyler Hero. And there's data to actually back this up. One of the cool features, many cool features of Outlier, I should say, is you can put specific filters in to look for specific events. So, for example, I just put a filter in to look at what are the statistics for when Tyler Hero does not play for Bam Adebayo. And you see down here, 16 games this season Adebayo has played without Tyler Hero. He has cashed this over in 13 out of those 16 games, an 81% hit rate on this over when Tyler Hero does not play. And look at the 3 instances where he didn't hit it. One of them, he only played 12 and a half minutes versus the Indiana Pacers So that's the reason why he only had 7 points in that game. You look at the other two, he played the Clippers, who are one of the best defensive teams in the NBA against centers. And the other one versus Portland, I don't really have a ton of reasons as to why he only scored 13 points there, but that's really the only two misses that you can really count. The other one, again, he got hurt and he only played like 12 and a half minutes. But overall, he's been a covering machine in 2023 when it comes to this line. Again, 81% hit rate, pretty damn good. When Tyler Hero doesn't play, they look at Adebayo to be more of an offensive threat to score more points. So, and it's a 7, and we have it at 17.5. I mean, he scores. Look at this; is mostly hits 20 plus. We probably could go a little bit higher, and if you're willing to risk it, I would bet it's up to like 18, 19.5. Honestly, I'm going to take it at 17.5 and play it safe. But that's what I love for the first leg of our 3-leg parlay. All right, guys, second leg of our 3-leg parlay. We're targeting the Bulls-Warriors game, which kicks off at 10 p.m. Eastern time. We're going with Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors under 28.5 points. Now, you may think I'm crazy for betting a Curry under, but there's a lot of good data that supports this. He's cashed this under in 7 of his last 10 games. The last time he played versus Boston, he had 4 points. This is actually a first. I've never seen this happen before. He did play last night versus Milwaukee. I only know because we had the honest bet. He had 29 points last night versus the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm not. That's actually a first. The outlier is lagging a little bit on the data here, but he did cover this over 28.5 points. He had 29 points last night versus Milwaukee, which I think actually just makes my case a little bit stronger. So then, if you really put this data down, it's not 7 of his last 10 games. It's actually 6 of his last 10 games. But on the 2023 season as a whole, it's going to be 31 out of 58 games, so considered like a 52% hit rate. Still, majority of the season, he has cashed this under. And the interesting thing with Curry, and I don't know if you guys watch Bill Simmons or The Ringer, but he has a theory that when you get older, it's not that you just stop being a superstar, it's just the days where you have A-plus games diminishes. So Curry still has those A-plus games, but it comes at a less frequent rate. That's how you decline. It's the same thing with like Damian Lillard, you see it happening too. You see these superstars as they get older, they just can't have those A-plus ever, like Luka, who has an A-plus game almost every single night, or 2 out of 3 nights a week. It happens a lot less as you get older as a star player. And you see here, if you look at the data, hits it this game, doesn't hit it the next game, hits it this game, doesn't hit the next game. And you see a lot of these. Had a couple where he hits them back to back, but only this little stretch right here, he had 3 straight games where he cashed the over. Typically, he hits it, and then he doesn't hit it for a couple games. He hit it last night. I think in a second night of a back-to-back especially, I think he's going to hit the under here, 28.5 points. It's just kind of been the trend with Curry this year. He hits it, and then he doesn't hit it. And then he hits it, doesn't hit it. Second night of a back-to-back, I don't know how much they're going to play him here. The Bulls, not a very good team, but when it comes to defensive numbers versus point guards, on the season, the Bulls had the best defense in the NBA against point guards, giving up just 20.6 points per game. So you add the fact, Curry on a second night of a back-to-back, his trend this year where it's like he doesn't consistently hit overs when it comes to this line. The longest streak of cashes, consistent cashes, you see right here. Again, 3 straight games he had this over of 28.5 points. And then, he had 5 and 6 games. Otherwise, though, he hits it and then goes under, hits it, goes under. That's the pattern with Curry this year. Second night of a back-to-back, he just hit this number last night. The Bulls are really solid defensive team to get point guards. And even in the last 15 games, although it's not as good as number 1, they are still top 10 in the NBA defensively, even over the last 15 games, in terms of points allowed to the point guard position. And if that didn't convince you, each of the last 3 times he's played the Bulls, he has cashed this under. The last time they played on January 12th, just like a month or two ago, he had 20. He just missed it with 27 points, but still, he cashed the under. And that was a game that the Warriors scored 140 points, and he only had 27. So this is a game that doesn't have a super high total for tonight. So Vegas is not expecting the 140, 131 game we had early in the year. They're not expecting that. I really do think this is the one. I don't like fading superstars too often, but this is the one spot I think you can fade Curry pretty comfortably. All right, guys, third and final leg of today's parlay. Comment 9 down below if you made it this far in the video, because we just hit the 9-minute mark. We're going Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets over 34.5 points plus rebounds in the Boston Celtics game. Again, this is an alternate line at minus 215. Jokic has cashed this over in 6 of his last 10 games. You stretch that down to his last 20, still pretty good. 80% hit rate, 16 of his last 20 games. He has cashed this over. And on the 2023 season as a whole, a 72% hit rate, 43 out of 60 games, he has cashed this over. He's been a covering machine. Now, overall, you look at the right side of the screen, Boston, pretty good defensively. They're the 4th best defensive team in the NBA in terms of points allowed. Boston is built to pretty much defend everything the Nuggets can throw at them except for Jokic. Jokic is that outlier where there really isn't a team in the NBA that can slow him down. And if you look at the head-to-head data, it makes sense. Each of the last 3 times they faced off with the Boston Celtics, he has cashed this over, including the last time they played this year on January 19th. Not too long ago, he had a massive game, 34 points and 12 rebounds versus the Celtics. And the Nuggets only scored 102 points. We have a very similar situation again tonight where the total is not very high for this game. So Vegas is not expecting this to be a high-scoring affair. But regardless, they're just, as good as the Celtics are, they just have nobody who can slow down Jokic. And that, I think that it puts more pressure on Jokic to step up. Because the Celtics, they can throw people at Jamal Murray. They can throw people at Michael Porter Jr. They can throw bodies at Aaron Gordon. The Celtics can pretty much cover everything else the Nuggets have to throw at them except for Jokic. This is going to be one of the best games of the NBA season to date, honestly. If you can watch this game, watch it. I'm a Celtics fan. I'll obviously be rooting for Boston, but I'm going to take Jokic as well. I think that Jokic, he just consistently has great games versus Boston. I don't think that changes tonight. I think Denver will be able to stay in this game close. They're obviously right now the 3 seed, and with the recent news that Minnesota, there's no Karl-Anthony Towns for a while, that could affect how Minnesota sits. Denver could still very well easily end up as the 1 seed in the West. They're only I think a game out of the 1 seed, or maybe 2 games out. So they're right there. I think they do care about that. I think Jokic, if they're going to win this game, it's going to be through Jokic. I think he has a massive game. As good as I love Porzingis, and he's been great this year defensively, I just don't think he has what it takes to slow Jokic down. So that is the third and final leg of today's parlay, guys. All right, let me just move my screen over here for you guys. Real quick recap of our 3-leg ticket. First leg, Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points. Second leg, Nikola Jokic over 34.5 points plus rebounds. And the third leg, Steph Curry under 28.5 points. You parlay all 3 of those, you got to get a parlay of plus 265 odds. Really nice odds, honestly, for a 3-leg parlay where we have some pretty heavy odd lines, right? You got a minus 220 and minus 215. The Curry one helps us a little bit. It's only minus 140. But guys, that is it today for today's video. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. Even if it's hate, even if you're going to tell me that you fade all the legs, which, by the way, is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. The comment sections, people were saying, like, oh, we're fading all the legs. You realize, I think only twice this year, maybe 3 times, I've gone over on a parlay. Like, even like the other night we had like a 3-leg and only one leg hit. You still would have lost if you faded all 3 legs. So I don't understand that whole, we're going to fade all the legs. That's the strategy. Doesn't really make a ton of sense because I always hit some of my props at the very, even if I don't hit the parlay, I'm going to hit some of the props. So but if you want to keep commenting that, go right ahead. I appreciate it. Whatever it is, hate, love, always appreciate the interaction with you guys. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. Again, I'll be back tomorrow. We have our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay tomorrow. Really excited to do that with you guys. But until tomorrow, I hope we're all winners. Have a good one, guys.